This is for the book lovers. Hi, I'm Abuiri.
Hi, I'm Marcella, and welcome to Bookish Banter.
So today we have with us our very able editor, Washera. Karibu.
Thank you. Hi guys, I am Mashera, and yes, I'm here to discuss the book that I recommended for this month, which is Mindfuck Series by St. Abbey. Yes, so I'll start us off with talking about what I liked about the book, which is so I feel the main themes of the book or the driving plot of the book was a woman scorned, which is the lead character. Her name is Lana, yes. Lana. She went through a great ordeal, like a
Traumatic. Yeah, really bad experience.
The worst. And then, so what happened is she was gang raped by 12 men, and her brother was killed right beside her, and that was right after the dad was falsely accused of being a serial killer, killing women. So that really scorned her, and then now she was on a mission to revenge herself, the brother, and the dad. So yes, that's what we're taking through the book. I really loved the writing of the book, how the characters were written, and like you could relate, not relate, like you could understand where Lana was coming from, empathize with her. I also loved the execution, like she did it very well. Like, it was like well thought out, well executed, and you were rooting for her the whole time. To the fact that to the point that I like, if someone else is doubtful of her, you're not seeing what this person is doing. Yeah, she's doing what she needs to do. I liked that a lot, and the book was very engaging. Like it keeps you don't
on your toes down.
Yeah. So I really liked that a lot. So what did you guys think about the book? Also, this was the second read for, I think, for all of us. You recommended. Yeah. And I've loved that book. Like it's always my go-to recommendation book, always since I read it. So yeah, what did you guys think?
I also really loved the book. Same case again. Even reading it for the second time, it was still a 5-star read for me. Like just executed to perfection. Even the build up, because it's a really big book, because it's 5 books in one. So just the build up of everything, like she has your attention from the get. The suspense is amazing. How book 1 ends to book 2 to book 3, like just ties you in. You don't want to pause or anything. And another thing that I loved about it was it has a romance factor, which is for Lana and Logan. So the two main leads, it's just how it's written. It's not too smarty, like this smart, but it's written in a great way. You can feel the build up and the chemistry and why they work and why they're good together. And I especially love when you included in like their conversations and like their head. Like I really like this person and I don't know why. Like I don't want to be away from this person. So that was done so well. And just her revenge project was done as a last resort because the system failed her. And just her whole plan was over a period of 10 good years, and it was just planned so well with the help of her best friend. It's like the physical strength, which was her, and the smartness of her friend, and just the two of them combining and getting together to plot this thing so well and doing this thing so unexpectedly. And then especially the fact that she was a woman who was doing this was just another amazing thing.
Taking down big men.
Like she was like 5'4" or something. So she would wear these humongous boots just to have the FBI profiling her. So the opposite of who she is, because she's such a tiny baby, but they're thinking it's a like size 12 foot
must be a man.
Must be a man. Who else could have been able to overpower these other men? Like it was just written so well, done so well. A 5-star read. Like the suspense is there, everything is just executed in an unbelievably great way. And then also you have the POVs of different people. Majorly it's like Lana and Logan, but also like in few occurrences you'll find the perspective of another person, so you'll also see it from their eyes. Just And I think the most critical or like the biggest thing was the fact that she was a serial killer and he was an FBI. So
Yeah,
he's
that was
literally
nice.
hunting
That
her,
was great.
and she's over there like, because she was of the assumption that she'll never find love again. She'll never be able to trust a man again. But this guy just turned her whole life, because her plan, everything was planned but falling for an FBI agent.
Who is going to investigate your case.
Yeah. So that this wasn't part of the plan, but how quickly she fell for him and how quickly he fell for her. It's just like, I don't know what to do, but amazing.
Yeah. Which was so nice. Also the fact that she did not take advantage of her being with Logan to find out about the case and like try to track it. They had the discipline to stick to their plan to the end, which was because they would talk a lot in the book about how people who go into serial killing, even if it's revenge killings, like you get to a point where your mind snaps and then now you start doing other things, you escalate. Now it's no longer enough, you need more. And so that is what the FBI people kept worrying, like this person is going to escalate. But with every case, it's the same as the previous one, like there are no signs of escalation. And then when Hadley was part of the FBI agents, when she discovered who she was, so Lana killed outside of the revenge group by killing a pedophile who was Hadley's stepdad. And she killed this guy because she realized what he was doing. He was a social worker, so he was taking advantage of kids who are homeless, who no one can go back and find out what is happening to them, all those things. And then now she tied it to Hadley, and she killed the guy and then took a photo, because the guy kept a token of photos of the kids. So she took the photo of Hadley so that Hadley not embarrassed. And that is how Hadley had investigated Lana, of course, because she's dating Logan, who Logan is like a big brother. So she investigated. That is how she got to start suspecting Lana, and then she investigated and found that Lana could be the serial killer. She ties it down, and then now when she hears the story, now she's Lana's side. So Hadley, when people are like, now this person is going to escalate and start killing other people, she's trying to downplay, like, without telling people I know who it is, but it's like, no, the pattern is the same, so she's not going to escalate and kill other people who are not part of the thing. So I liked that discipline that Jake and Lana had, and like Jake keeping Lana in line, like, let's do this, remember why we're doing this, and she managed to wipe them out. And I usually say, like, you see, I feel like most people run to kill people, like, you've done something to me, so I just kill you. But for Lana, she was like, you have to suffer the way I suffered. I loved that so much. It's like, that's the best kind of revenge. It's at least you get to feel how I felt.
And then
she'd
repeat their words to them, like the words they used to taunt her and her brother. She'd repeat the same exact thing when she's torturing the guy. Like if you said, oh, fight, or this is gonna take the whole night, she'll repeat the same exact thing when she's also torturing the guy, which was just, because another thing is she didn't look the same. So at first glance, none of these men like recognized her until it was too late, because first of all, they all knew that she's died. So it's the shock of you still alive, and of course now when they see her, they're like, they okay, know. But with just that assumption of a man, you're thinking, but what can you really do, tiny person, until they're crying and confessing and doing all these things. So like she just stayed powerful. And like even when people suspected her, even when Hadley suspected her, she just, like, she was dying deep down, but like outside she's just staying like as stoic as possible, like, okay, so what is it that as who do you think that I am? Because she had to like steal a whole identity. And this babe, because she's Hadley was such a tech babe, so she knows how to hack, she knows all these things. It's like, yeah, okay, fine. But at the back of her mind, she was like, Jake has taken care of it. So I have nothing to worry about. And even if I do, I can't let her see my panic. So
Yeah.
I'd stay strong. And because of that, it just remains, because also the other babe just stayed questioning herself. Because is it really like, could she really be like the guy who overpowers all these men? And like at the beginning, I think she'd like already done away with like 6 guys. She's like, could it really be like, am I just me? Am I just too overprotective? It was just brilliant.
Yeah. And she followed because she saw her in the act.
Yeah.
Otherwise she would have kept guessing. She was at, can you say, the right place at the right time, because she could have been killed if things would have turned out differently, but her snooping led her to find out and like actually see her. Until you see her with your own eyes is when you believe, because a small person taking down.
And also like her snooping, like if this could have also gone south, because at that point of snooping is when you realize, okay, I was threatening such a dangerous person. Because if she killed, because she hardly saw her kill like another serial killer who had come for her man. And she's like, yeah, no. So now she's thinking, okay, if she can do this to this serial killer guy who has killed I don't know how many women, what can she do to me? And I'm here telling her.
But I think like there's that fear, but also there's at the back of your mind you also relax a bit, because at this point she had already killed the stepdad. So you're like, okay, she killed the stepdad and then the photo is missing, so maybe she's on my side, because they connected the two, so they already knew that she killed her. So maybe at the back of her mind she was like, okay, maybe she's not too bad. I feel like it was easier for her to be in that situation with that information. Like if that had not happened, it would have been maybe turned out different had you not have maybe kumtetea or such things.
But at that point of seeing her, she hadn't yet put 2 and 2 together. At that point of seeing her kill this serial killer guy, like even just her being like let out of the closet, she hadn't put 2 and 2 together. That she has that I'll say human part. Like she's caring, she's thinking about me. At that point, she was just looking at it of, this is a dangerous person, and the only reason that she was this pissed is because this person threatened the man that she's dating, and she loves that man. But she loves that man, but she doesn't love me. So she can very easily even me end me. So in that house, she's like, okay, this is a very dangerous person to have as an enemy.
But at this point, she knew that someone killed and protected her. She had that information. That is why she was suspecting Lana.
But she hadn't noticed the 69 what photos. And
she was told on the phone or something. Like she knew, because that information really helped her, because when she was battling with what to do with now this information that she has, she had this information. She was like, for her to decide to tell people that this whole thing, it was pure luck, she's not skillful, it was just pure luck. It's because she knew, like, this person did not kill the boogeyman because she's going astray. She's just someone who's looking out for
Logan.
For Logan and for me, for because already at this point she knows she was protected. She already tied it together, but she didn't. When they were told that they suspect it's the same person, she was doubtful that it could be Lana, although she had her suspicions.
She always had her suspicions. But it's that she went to her doorstep and threatened her without knowing how powerful she was, is what I mean. Like she didn't know, even afterwards, still, whether she's on my side or not, she can still overpower me. She's still super powerful. She just chooses not to do it.
Because she always was warning her, don't attack Lisa, because Lisa was Logan's ex. And whenever anachokozwa, Lana hardly had to look at Lana and tell her, you relax, don't attack her, but Lana's like, I don't do that.
It was interesting how that the dynamic between the two actually changed after Hadley realized who Lana is. That one surprised me the most, because I'm like, first I was accusing, like I was here, thinking I was the bad person, but now all of a sudden, now the dynamic is changing. Now she's the one who's like telling Lana about Nini, warning and whatnot. I'm like, wow, that's actually very interesting. You know, the
Yeah.
dynamic
I feel
changing.
it was easy for her to change because she has experienced that being abused and all these things. So for her to see what Lana is doing, she's like, if I could be able to do it, I could also be doing it. So I'm championing for you. And
also for her, she had like a guilt, because for her she was guilted into thinking that this thing that happened with her stepdad was in her head, like it didn't happen. So the fact that it had been happening over the years to so many things, she had that guilt, and she was thinking, if I stopped it then it wouldn't have carried through. But you had the courage to go and stop it and save this baby, and give this baby or like child, and give this child to your friend. So because you can do that, if there's any way that I can support, then I will definitely support. Just because she had like her own rules as well, like don't come for anybody for my team, and if I see you straying out of like your list of these people from your town, then we're gonna have a problem.
So I'd like for us to talk about Lana and what's his name? Haman. Logan's chemistry. Before that, we can like take a shot.
To chemistry.
Oh, yes. So I personally thought that it was well written. Like it didn't feel forced. It just felt organic. I liked that the fact that both of them are profilers, and I liked that game they were playing. That reading each other and then sometimes getting it wrong and then so now when Logan discovers that Lana is a serial killer, I don't know, what did you guys expect? Like when you were reading, did you guys think that he would be accepting, or he would push her away? What did you guys think initially before like we got to that point?
I don't know what I thought. Honestly, I think at that point in time, I was thinking Logan would just leave her because of the way he was. Like, he's a good police.
Or like a street line.
Yeah, like he's a person who knows what he wants in this force. He doesn't have like scandals and whatnot. So I would have thought, because we have seen this situation even out there where people are like, even if it's family, I am true to my role as an officer. So I am. It does come first. So I'm not gonna ask. It's over. So me, I thought he would, like, when he cuffed her, I thought that was it. Like, I'm going fast. Let me go think about this. I don't like what is happening, but then I'm gonna cut it off. And then it surprised me because I think it's part of when he comes back. I don't know if it's something they said or it was implied that he did not expect to find her still cuffed. He would have been disappointed. Is there something like that? There's an implication of him finding her already amejitoa kwenye cuffs.
No, he actually expected to find her. He just didn't realize he'd kept her waiting for over an hour. In his head, it felt like 10 minutes. But on like looking at
like, he was surprised to find like she wasn't there. Like, she had uncuffed herself.
He was disappointed that she wasn't there anymore, because by the time he was coming back, he'd had like that, you know, the
to understand.
Because he cuffed her thinking she's an imposter, like she's avenging for another person, but he actually, now he came back with the realization that she's avenging for herself. So by the time akona your realization, it's a little bit too late. She's gone. And then knowing that type of person, once she's gone, it's like, where am I gonna find her? Because
she is a serial killer
anyway. Once she's in the wing, she's in the wing.
Also,
so what am I gonna do?
And also the affiliation now, because she is the serial killer, and I'm also like leading this investigation. You know, a little bit of negative dynamic there, I think. Right?
It could be seen like you've been trying to find the person.
Probably
because you not know it's your person.
No, but like also like for FBI, it's a whole team, because you can't say like I can.
It's an individual job.
Derail everybody in the team, unless like I'm derailing the team to cure 2 people. Because by the time he was noticing it, so did his colleague, and I felt like his colleague was very like on it. Like he was catching very, very small
Yeah.
details, because for him it wasn't anything necessary. Because I felt like sometimes Lana was just, she wasn't as strict.
Yeah,
with
she was
like,
kidogo reckless.
like she started becoming, that's the exact word I'm like, she was very reckless. Because even his questions you could tell, because he was like, what do you, okay, it was first, how does a tiny person overpower this whole serial killer? That was the first thing. And then ukukwingine, like, where did you grow up, things like that. But with Logan, I feel like Ali Bebeka in that love bubble, he wasn't looking at it from like an FBI person's perspective.
It was now emotional.
Yeah,
obviously.
otherwise he would have caught it way sooner. Because especially for him, when he was talking about what made him catch it, is when he was looking at the physical files of the like junkie babe versus Lana's Nini babe, the accident and the scars. And he slept with her, and he's looking at it from, I know these scars, I know her body, I understand this, and I know. So he was like, you can't switch somebody's eye color, and you can't switch the scars no matter what. That's what made him catch it. But Leonard, who never saw this babe naked, caught it from just her mannerisms, from things that he said, and from the investigation. So him kidogo hapo alibebeka with the romance, was a bit in love. You understand who's sorry,
love things.
What can you say? Because the time that she saved, the time that he realized that it's a babe is when she came to save him, and that is when now they had to switch their profile. And now from that point is when now also Leonard started suspecting, and he picked up immediately.
No, he picked up even before, because he kept asking all these things. Even when he was telling the story, it was before this thing. It's like when he was telling the story about, I don't know, his sister-in-law, his sister.
Yeah, that was after.
Hey.
That was after, like when Logan, before that he'd started suspecting.
He'd been suspecting for a while.
Because there's a scene where they say that like he was looking at her, and Lana picked it up and was like, hey, how is it looking at me?
Yeah, even the questions that he was asking, like, where did you grow up?
Yeah.
Where are you really from? Like, just questions that Logan would have asked if he was in like his business logic. Yeah. And then also, like, she really knew how to downplay the, I'm just a girl.
Yeah.
You know how
He's always used that card. He's always used that card.
Yeah. She really, really knew. Because even just her coming and sitting in like the FBI offices, knowing that you're a comfortably sitting there, like, oh yeah, you're investigating, like the confidence that she had.
Because also Hadley picked up on her being weird, because she was like, hey, you don't pick up. How, like, you don't notice people watching you, such things. Like, Hadley also picked it up really quick that she's a bit sus. Our man was...
Yeah, he was... if you think about, like, the very initial meeting, like, he caught her mannerisms. Like, she's a bit like this, she's a bit guarded, she's profiling me and I'm profiling her. Like, why on an ordinary circumstances would somebody do that if they don't need it? Like, this is something that she picked up as a defense mechanism, because she knew like the journey ahead of her. But now somewhere along the line, he fell in love and stopped looking at her from that angle. Like, even the whole time when this babe was attacked, he didn't ask questions. He didn't ask. Even Leonard asked, doesn't Logan ask about your past? And then she was like, no. Because he wants me to tell him like when I'm ready. But Leonard was there probing. But
let me ask, like, because I also like read this book like a long time ago. I did not necessarily reread right now, but I want to confirm, like, did Logan actually come to her house once upon a time, and she had been probably in her element, and she had to hide, like, was it like sheets of blood, or was there like something? There was something she had to hide.
Yeah, so after they initially met, and then she hinted to him that he could find her address and then come visit, and that's what he did that same day. And
He found the address.
He found the address and went to visit her. And that same day, she'd come from a kill, but she had cleaned up herself. She put the bag away, everything. So she was just relaxing. So when he came, they did their thing. And then so she was thinking, now what if he comes and finds
no,
there's a time that he actually
I know there was a time, yes,
that just come from
was she
hiding
Yes.
like blood on her
she's just
something,
finished cleaning up.
And
how
then
did
she
he
was
miss
like,
it? How did Logan?
No, because she has quick answers. She
Yeah.
said like her and her business partner had just come from like a business trip and he'd cut himself. That's why she had quick responses.
Yeah, she
One
knew
thing
what to
about
say.
her, she stayed ready and she had responses because even
her
like,
head was there, like in the game, and this is what I want. This is what I'm gonna say.
Even how she structured like her business, like like my business needs me to travel a lot, so he doesn't need to question like mbono uko hapa uko hapa. Like I'm doing a deal, that's why I'm not picking up. Like all these things she'd say, he wouldn't pick up on them. Like there's a time she was like he'd kept calling, but like sijui alimwambia my business, I only had my business phone, and he questioned it but he didn't ask again. And then also like he had like for them, Logan even said they don't investigate one serial killer at a time. So he's here. So in Ile, he's like, okay, full stop for now. Pause. I'll come back to this. But he never
came back
to come back to it.
Quite interesting, really. I think the love dynamics was okay, not to die for. But I loved like Logan protected this babe. Like he was in this thing for real. Like I don't think I've ever I've never like seen someone love someone to the extent of I wanna protect you with everything, no matter what.
I feel like especially when they sat with the old mama and she told them bit for bit like how bad this thing was, like what really happened. Because before, like it was just like, oh fine, okay, like something bad happened in this town, but what really happened? And like she gave them like a story of this is what happened. The brother died, the brother was castrated, like
was this
so the brother was castrated like right there in the middle of the town, and then after everything that they went through, being cut by Amira and all these just heartbreaking events, and the brother tried so much to get her to a hospital, but he ended up dying. So this was just something else that fueled Lana's revenge plan. Like, my brother died and he didn't have to, and it's because some of you are just homophobic and some of you are blaming him for the sins of our dad, which he didn't even he didn't even commit, and then nobody followed up for the dad to get the justice that he deserved. Like, everybody just assumed that he is guilty, and now even the kids were being called the kids of the devil, and it was just so bad, like what she went through, and they tried to get that justice, but it's just those small communities where what the sheriff says is
that's what goes.
So no one else wants to know anything. They're just, so these two people die, their dad dies in jail, and then nothing is supposed to happen. It's like their lineage was supposed to end there.
But it was also very painful, like that they were on the streets where people could hear them scream and everything. Like
nobody came.
There was just, everyone was in their house minding their own business.
And then this 12 just took their time.
Like
they were in no rush.
Turns are like, are you okay? Today we're here the whole night. It's gonna be a party. It's so crazy.
They go, I don't know, they borrowed a mirror from a neighbor, and like she opened the door, she's hearing their screams, gave a mirror, and then they just continued taunting them, cutting them with mirrors, to the point of one of them forcing the brother to rape the sister. And just for what? Like, these people were just sick.
For fun.
And then they were all, I think the oldest was between 15 and 19. They are all so young, were just so evil.
Just doing it for fun.
Really. And they can see the pain. The pain
but the brother refused. The brother did not rape her.
And that's why he was castrated.
He was castrated. It was like, you either do it or you're castrated. It was like, okay, you just do your thing. I'm not going to do that to my sister. And he died driving away to a different town because the sheriff owned everything. So even if they went to any hospital,
they wouldn't be treated.
They wouldn't be treated. So it was nice that they went away, because that is what saved Lana, and she was able to come back and avenge the brother and the dad.
She killed everyone. Every single one of those people.
Yeah.
Like it was a proper plan.
Yeah, and everyone, like depending on what you did on that day, how your punishment was set according to what you did on that day.
Yeah.
So the only one, because there were 13 guys, only one guy who was just stand alive, so he was
because he didn't do anything that one.
Yeah, but also he didn't save her. But it was also against 12 boys. You can also be added there.
Yeah, that amount of rage to carry like all of those years and still remember details.
Of course, you'd remember details because that's something that changed the course of her entire life. And something else is because of this ordeal she couldn't have kids. Yeah, because of now everything that she went through. Like she had to go through multiple surgeries. So many things for her were changed, and till the end of the book, like it was still like at the end of the book, at least the people of the town knew her dad was innocent, but it wasn't declared that he's innocent. And that's one of the things that she really wanted, because this is something, because the dad was being accused of being also a serial killer, which he wasn't. And it was somebody else who had done this, coming from a point of jealousy. But now it's the dad who had to go through this. It's the dad who went to jail. It's the dad who lost their family.
And it's crazy because everyone in that town loved the dad, and people could not believe that he did that.
Changed.
Yeah, but because the Fed said that he did it, now they believed it. That was so crazy.
Yeah, it's because one person tried to speak, and what happened to them?
She was raped.
Yeah, exactly.
She was raped, and then she told the husband, and then the husband was like, "No, you," because the guy went and told him, "Yeah, you're the problem." So then she was divorced because she tried to speak out, and then the other woman who tried to speak out, her son was threatened. She was like, "Hey," and they all witnessed what happened to now his family. They're like, not to me as well. So they were basically like ruling from a point of fear and just small town mentality, because like because even the FBI people were asking, how comes this thing wasn't televised, how comes we didn't know, this should have been like national news. And they're like, it's because something else big was also happening, like another serial killer, but still it's because the sheriff in this small town really controlled everything to the degree of what you're seeing on your screen. It's because the sheriff has approved.
Also remember, is it Kyle? I don't know if the son of I mean, they were all involved in all of this. He was the son of the sheriff, right? And I think that's exactly why this thing was never dealt with. Because if the law enforcers in this particular small town are in this, they've been in other smaller cases of crime, smaller cases of what, do you think that this is like enough for them to take it as an important thing? No.
Initially, the sheriff thought he's doing it from a place of revenge himself, because he was avenging the daughter, because the daughter was killed. So initially, when he released his son, he was thinking he's avenging his daughter, because of course it's not the son who killed the daughter, it was now that serial killer. But now they framed this dad, and it's like they framed the most unexpected person, like the most innocent person is the one who took the fall. And then it's like they didn't want to take the time to investigate and understand, so they just decided it's you, and now they're going to make all the evidence point to you.
I mean, there's always one person who's always the guy who's gonna take everything. I think something I also loved about this book is how once, I think 2 or 3 died, the rest knew.
Yeah, they suspected, but no one believed that. No one thought that
it was her.
So I loved
the waiting.
Yeah, because you don't know who it is. You suspect, but then you're like, that she died.
And then there are those ones who suspected the friend, and then the one was like, no, that guy is in a wheelchair. I also like counting fools. Like people thinking.
He wasn't necessarily like at he wasn't paralyzed.
And he really knew how to like dead his legs. Like when the guy was like, I'm observing, there's a twitch that
there's
people
who
can actually and he knew
this thing is something they planned. Lazima they knew.
They studied Kabisa.
Yes.
How
That's dope.
FBI think, how this town will think they had
it is sick.
The only plot twist was Lana dating Logan. That was the only
they did not
thing
even
that wasn't
expect
part
it.
of the plan. Even she didn't expect it, but it's just that now when
And also, I mean, na kwanza when he decided that you know what, nimeacha kazi.
Yeah,
I mean,
for her,
yes, I'm gonna. But you know, it was coming from a place of.
Personally,
I understand
really think
why.
that I felt like to a point, as much as he was like the straight guy who was like me, I'm all about the law and everything. I felt like somewhere apo katikati it just changed for him after understanding her story
why,
and then also seeing her scars and being like, yo, hey,
Kweli
you
umepitia.
really do. Like, I understand why you're doing that, and I would do that. Like, if somebody did it to like my sister or my person, I'd do that to them as well. So I understand why you're doing this. And then something else that drove him to actually quitting his job, because he wanted to like finish the case, like, okay, let's exonerate this other guy, he's innocent. But they're like, no, already the FBI tunakaa vibaya because the other guy, now the initial profiler already, like, he's lost his job and everything. Now, like, it can't be shown that we've been covering evidence, because that will have all these other serial killers wanting us to open their cases, which makes sense to some
for
degree.
sure.
But for him, it was like, I just want like the actual person who was committing these other crimes to also let it be known that he's the one who was doing it. And the fact that it's like, I joined the FBI because I want to be the face of like righting all these wrongs. And it's like, you guys don't, you want to half-ass it. And he's like, me, I'm not about the politics. So I'm out, I'm gonna be with my woman. I'm gonna
Adios,
find her
muchachos.
and love her.
I'm going to prove to her that I am here for her.
Yes.
What does he do?
My gosh.
He goes and proves and like make sure that he cannot be taken back to the
FBI.
Yeah. So he kills the person who actually, that was the biggest plot twist. Oh my gosh. Finding out who actually was the initial serial killer and who set this whole thing in motion, which turned out to be Jake's dad.
Yeah.
And the dad's best friend.
And the dad's best friend.
And
who was the lawyer who was supposed to defend him. So he set this whole thing up. He played with everyone's emotions. He played with the sheriff's emotions and made the sheriff like not think clearly. He just wanted somebody to blame for his daughter's death, and now he delivered the person. And then he volunteered himself as the lawyer. And then he
not even volunteered, because being that we're best friends.
Yeah,
like, of course you do my lawyer.
Yeah,
and
I
it's like all this because them alikukata.
Imagine.
I mean, guys,
surely.
Come
Man,
on.
right. Too fragile. It's even like, why are you so fragile?
So
and then like Uko back then, like when they were like, I think 18 or something, like that's when he was rejected, and still, because like
he's
his
holding on to this.
As a serial killer was that he'd kill babes who resembled her.
Yeah. So she can kill her again.
Over and over again. And I think like
it's like it's
on the anniversary of when he was rejected. Like for you to
psycho,
you need to
proper
people.
There are better ways of dealing with these things.
Yeah, you need to heal. Yeah. Over and over again. Yeah, he was such a soul loser.
Yeah. And that is why he also like felt like set this whole thing in motion, because now this person, compared to me, I cannot understand why he would go to this person.
Yeah, for him and not me. Yeah.
Because the things that he thought maybe are achievements are not what this babe wants. So it's Jangalie. Stop blaming me.
Yeah, right. But I really love how their revenge towards him was slow.
Pole, no rush.
That was the best. Yeah, slow.
You dedicate your life for this.
Yeah.
And then now when look, I also like that he didn't die. He died knowing who did that to him. He didn't just die. Yeah. So he knew it's his son who did that to him.
Yeah.
It's Lana who did that to him. It's
Olivia.
It's Olivia now who.
But like their initial plan, they weren't intending on telling him.
Yeah,
they were just dragging out his suffering. But then they were like, the first thing that he lost was his sex drive. Like, now what are you gonna do?
Now let's see. Yeah.
Pole too, and then suddenly he can't like do anything for himself. He's just losing his power and everything, and he's just taking too many drugs.
I mean, redefine emasculation.
There's a part that made me like laugh, because when there's at some point, I don't remember, I think they were already at the town, and Jake, they were doing something, and then Jake had to step away to go and look after his dad, because apparently he's not taking his medication, he's so stubborn. And now when later I realized what he was doing, it's like, you have to take the medicine that's going to kill you, man. Why are you not taking it?
Yeah,
So
don't
funny.
play.
Yeah, don't play with my timelines, please. It's like, wow, this is so nice. So I really love that.
That was a nice book.
Yeah. And I loved their love. I loved that eventually they ended up together. Oh, that was so nice. Yeah, and that he killed for her. It's twisted love, but it's beautiful love. You know,
it's the question of can you live for me rather than die for me?
Yeah.
Yes, this is the proper story of what's that guy Joker and the baby is called who? The babe of Joker is called Harley Quinn. Where Joker asks her, can you live for me? This is Logan living for Lana. Like, I'm gonna drop my job and live for you.
Yeah,
because
because
I'm putting my life on the line for you.
Hey,
Mapenzi, wow.
Yeah.
Lucky for her.
Yeah, it was
Lucky
also
for
But
Jake
I feel like
Hadley.
I feel like they were a perfect fit.
Yeah.
For sure.
Same way,
Even
like,
personality
Jake
wise.
and Hadley, yeah.
They just fit perfectly because like I'll say like Jake and Hadley, they bonded over the whole like tech thing. Because even she was saying like nobody else, when he was telling her like the things that he did, nobody else would understand that tech lingo, but she would, and she'd appreciate, because when she's telling Lana, she's like, oh wow,
oh, thank you,
good job. But for her, she's like, what is that? Like how
she
you
even
did
has
that?
opinions
You know, and she even just how she was praising him, she's like, this guy is
He's
just
a
amazing.
wow.
Like you don't understand.
You didn't understand how difficult that is.
They met intellectually.
How they could talk tech to each other, how they understood like their whole fluidity in their relationship and everything. They just worked so well together, and they just thrived. But for me personally, I prefer the romance of like Logan and Lana.
Yeah, I mean all day, every day for sure.
But I like that the brothers and the sisters Ukunyuma, they also found each other, like just their dynamic, and they never went on a date. Because of like their schedules, because they never actually did go on that date. Like they just ended up texting and meeting up, but they never actually like went on that date finally. So single gender date, guys.
It can
Really?
happen.
We'll single date. Really? Go with
Hey, that's much discussed.
Moving the things the way they are moving. Yeah.
Because to add to my point, it's that like they created time for each other and made sure
it was intentional.
Be there for each other. So
I think they both understood like what is at stake here, what Nani is doing, what I'm doing.
Yeah, and then they spent a good portion of time together. So it doesn't mean at where there's no date, then you also don't see each other. Like you see each other like once a month. No, they were very intentional about it. They were very even the one time that they had a very huge argument, she was like, you're not communicating with me of your safety, and you think I'm just supposed to shalala about it, and then unani shoutia no. So communication was big. So you need to communicate. Let me know you're safe. Let me know this is what is going on, and that worked. And something else that I did love about the book, as much like it was so well balanced, you can't even tell like it's a crime and like thriller type of book, but there's romance in there and there's smart in there, but it's not overpowered where it's just like
it's totally balanced.
Like it makes sense why it's there.
I think thank you for actually recommending the book, because I think for someone who hasn't read such a genre before, it's easy to come into crime, to understand smart kiasi, to understand the crime part. What else?
The thriller.
This whole thing that we are not used to, because as we are all used to rainbows and unicorns, right? That's the usual story. But now this is a good book. It's not easy because of the trigger things, but easy in the context of introducing someone. Introducing someone into these really large themes of assault, rape, and whatnot. And the author just carries us slowly by slowly till the end. Yes, it's 5 books, but I promise you, you can sit down.
Even
you can sit down and read it.
The relationships, because it's fine. Like we have the Lana and the Logan, fine read, but you can see like the good friendships of Logan and Leonard. You can see how
and the everyday day-to-day life of
like
Lana.
people in an office. Also, like you get like literally like we were in the FBI offices with them. Like we're working with Jake and Nani. Like you can feel like the friendships as well as the romantic bits and
It is
pieces,
real even.
and it's not surface level. You get like, okay, this person, this is this person, this part of the team, or this one we don't like it. Like we even know things about like the ex.
Yeah.
This is a nosy ex. She's a nosy.
You know,
and we
it's
know
proper
why.
storytelling.
Yeah, like it's built up. Like the built up is so well done. It's not rushed. It makes it's there's books where you'll be like this last 200 pages or so unnecessary.
Yeah.
But this one, every single
Oh
page
god,
was supposed to be
yes,
there.
there was no lagging or CG. It was taken. It took so much time for the story to pick. No, it picked from the get go. Like Lana and what?
Yeah, you're there. Like
I mean,
even just like I feel like breaking down crime. Like when she was explaining the scene of Hadley's in the closet and she's the one who's looking in and this serial killer being killed. Like they're like, oh my gosh, next page.
Yeah, you
like
know
what happens next. Yeah, so
I also like that she kept us. Something happened to Lana. And just like the detectives, you don't know what exactly happened. So you're on her side until you actually know what
actually happened.
Like, you're discovering it with the FBI.
You're there, and then like she'll reveal like a line. Okay, like this happened. In my childhood neighborhood. But you're like, what? And then the book starts with like a list of Alex, Jihu, Kyle. You're like, okay, and then what have people done? But like by the time you're building up to like the fourth book, you're like, okay.
It's such a wow moment.
No more
like mind blowing moments.
Yeah,
that's dope. It's unfortunate that we would never see another writing of S.T. Abbey.
Yeah.
But this was my first S.T. Abbey book. I think it was totally worth reading.
Yeah, it is 100% worth reading. So make sure to read it. I promise you're going to love it. You're going to enjoy it so much. It's a nice book. It's a very, very good
phenomenal.
book.
Well done.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
So